Welcome, seekers and visionaries, to Oracle Mountain Chats. Here on this sacred virtual peak, we gather a space for oracles to share their wisdom, their visions, and their craft. It all began with a calling I could not ignore. One day, within a vision, I held this conch shell in my hands, and as I blew its resonant note into the world, I felt its vibration ripple across unseen realms. It was a summons, a signal to fellow oracles scattered near and far. I saw that we were on a mountain, vast and towering, reaching into the heavens. At its base, the world buzzed with life, people moving, creating, searching. Yet at the summit, there was stillness, clarity, and a circle of light. There, oracles stood, their gaze focused both outward and inward. They spoke of the energies they felt, the shifts they saw, and the whispers of the unseen. They weren't above the world, they were its witnesses and its guides. From this vision, OracleFest was born, a celebration of connection, insight, and the timeless wisdom that flows through us all. The message was clear. It is time. Time to meet upon this sacred mountain, to share what we hear, feel, and see. Time to bring the wisdom of the divine to a world that is yearning for its guidance. Through OracleFest, we've created a movement of community, all yearning to empower their own inner oracle. And here in Oracle Mountain Chats, we bring that spirit into a more intimate space. This is where the oracles gather to reflect, exchange ideas, and to explore what wishes to come through in the moment. This mountain is more than stone and sky. It is a meeting place of the realms, a threshold between seen and unseen, known and unknown. Here we gather as oracles to share the visions Spirit whispers to us, to speak of the energy currents flowing through nature and humanity, and to help guide those who seek answers in a world that often feels lost. So grab a seat, breathe in the mountain air, and join us as we begin today's chat. Whether it's an energy reading, a conversation about our craft, our path, or simply sharing a perspective on the world below, this is where we wait for more oracles to join us on the mountain. What wisdom will the mountain bring us today? Let's find out together. Step into this sacred space where the wisdom of the ages converges with the questions of the present. Okay, well, here we find ourselves back on Oracle Mountain, where we all sit and gather and send out the call for more oracles to join us and have these delightful conversations. So today we are joined by the beautiful and heartful, I will also say, Terra Kenzie, who I had the pleasure of meeting in person, but of course staying connected to since then. So she is an author and a speaker and a podcast host.
Yep.
And a retreat leader. And I would say there's probably so much more about you just as a human that people will love to get to know. So we'll leave all that. But modern mystic, embodiment coach, we have all of these beautiful, beautiful words to describe you. So welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Pleasure to
It's so
have you.
funny. I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited to be part of the Oracle Fest as well. And when you asked, I'm like, yes, please. Done. I want to do it.
Yeah, it's so fascinating. You know, I'm really touched by how many people are just trusting the vibration that's come through me, the vision that's come through me here is like, oh, it feels like all these threads are being caught, and people are saying, yeah, I'll keep reeling that one in too, and
Yeah.
very, very exciting. I've heard that a few times. That's just like an automatic yes for all the folks
Yes.
are in. Yeah,
Yeah.
how beautiful,
Instantly.
so
Not
great.
even a question.
Ah, so great. So this is kind of it's an open space where we can talk
Great.
about anything. I sort of have this silly idea that what would a whole bunch of modern oracles sit and talk about if they were stuck
Mm.
on a mountain waiting for people to arrive, and what might we plan or comment on as we see below, and yeah, and I also would love to also mention that you have an oracle deck as
I
well.
do.
Yeah, so if you do want to share some of that too, I'm sure that the listeners would love that.
Oh,
Um,
we're doing a reading, girl. We're gonna
okay,
do a little mini
great.
reading.
Well, I should have brought my cards, but I'm happy. Oh, I have a Michelle Matuzas deck by me, actually, the shamanic healing.
Ah,
This is my oldest deck because it's all frayed. And she was one of the
oh,
early signups from OracleFest as well. Same thing. And I went,
oh,
oh, this is odd. Stephen Farmer, I'd carried his book around for 6 years. So all this like great alignment of people who have meant a lot to me. So I'm very inspired by it so far.
oh,
The
that's
vision itself
amazing. Can
is.
I ask as well for you, and we'll probably talk about this more as well, but what was the calling for you for Oracle Fest?
It honestly was like I went through a wormhole in the beginning of this
Yeah.
opener. You'll see there's like a wormhole like light effect thing because I really was. I felt like I traveled through a wormhole, ended up on this star, this planet, and there was this mountain, and it
Yeah.
was Oracle Fest Mountain, and I was dressed more like I would say like Oracle of Delphi, like this more
Yeah.
Grecian kind of, which is not in my
Yeah.
lineage, which is pretty funny. And I had all these bay leaf tattoos around my forearm, and it
Oh,
felt really. And I don't have any tattoos yet, so I really want this tattoo now.
oh,
So
yes.
interesting. And I felt these tattoos, and when I came back to this realm, I still felt like the tattoos were on me. I had this sense that something had like landed on
There.
me from that
Yes.
vision. Right, right. It was a very
Imprinted.
strange, almost like a light tattoo or something.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And interestingly, my Scottish clan, the ancestry there, their plant for the clan is the bay leaf. And I was like,
What?
that's fascinating. And so I feel very guided from this. And then there was this conch shell that I would sound out, and all of the people would come from all these
Yes.
different directions, and the oracles quickly assemble and are starting to build things on the mountain and converge. They talk, they're all holding these torches, they have their own
Yes.
individual lights from our shared fire. And as people come up the mountain, some people are racing up, some people are taking their time, some people are fixing their wagon on the way, and but everyone's bringing provisions, and it's
Yeah.
amazing like how fruitful it is at the top. And I'm not leading, but I just happened to get there first and sound the call.
Yes.
But it was
Where
charged through
are
some kind of
you?
vision. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so that's what I feel like I'm perpetually doing. I hear this like conch shell often,
Yeah.
and more developments happen on this mountain as I go out to these visions and on the surrounding areas as well. So that's where it came from.
Oh,
um
exciting. I
Totally
wondered,
backed by some
we
skills,
hadn't,
but
of course, we hadn't talked about it. So I'm like, how did this all come into light? And I love that because I appreciate folks like you that are like, I'm just going to create the space for it because, yeah, I find I like making community spaces, but something like an Oracle Fest, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's big.
that's
That's a
what I
lot,
said.
you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I was just saying to my folks last night, I said, there was a few months ago where I had should I turn back
Oh,
moment, just like,
oh, yeah.
and then I realized I'm already past the point of no return. I might
Yes.
as well just dig my heels in and say, let's do this. And,
Yes.
you know, and, but it's amazing how actually, how easy and exciting it is when it's meant for you, right? Like that,
Yes.
an idea when we were just talking before we started this call about like creative work as well. And when that thing is like picking at you and tugging at your sleeve and trying to find its way through you, like
Yeah,
it feels more relieving and more exciting to actually go with that than to fight against it. And so if I was going
absolutely.
to fight against the bigness of it, well, okay, well, is someone else going to take the charge? Like, am I just passing this potential burden to someone else? I'll just take it on. I'll save them the trouble. Give myself some.
This is part of like the initiation though. Like when you were saying where you're at that point of, am I going to pull the plug on this? Do I just stop? Do I back up? Like that's the initiation where
Mm-hmm.
it's like, how bad do you want this? Are you going to trust us that it's just spirit has a sense of humor. Like such a sense of humor, and they will trial you by fire in so many different ways. But like, if we are these oracles returning, right, it's like we've been doing this for lifetimes, and like even in other dimensional spaces, so we're no strangers to the initiation. And then you get to that point. Well, and this is the thing too, you get to the point where you could stop, you could go back and just call it a day, and you'd never know, or you could go forward. And I literally was just looking up this maybe a couple weeks ago. And it blew my mind, but I don't know why it felt so surprising, because I see in my world, and I'm sure you do, and even the folks that will be watching this, and in OracleFest, there's not a high percentage of people that actually go after their dreams or fulfill them. I think it's like 92% don't
Huh.
actually fulfill their goals and dreams and vision. It's like 8% of the people are ones that actually follow through and do it. And it blew my mind. I'm like, no, there has to be more.
I want
But
it to be more.
I know that's I was like, I can't accept the what? No, I
I don't
can't
like
accept
that
this in my
fact.
heart for us. No, but think about it, even
Yeah.
for folks, yeah, that have their own businesses, like that is also like the eighth
Yeah.
percentile, because yeah, you're you're stepping outside of the societal norms of like having safety and security and everything that comes along with that, but then at the same time, everything that comes along with that. Um, to do something and to follow your heart and to do what you want and what you, well, and sometimes it's not even what you want. It's what spirit wants.
Absolutely. More and more as I grow, it's I don't have a say. My desires are not included. I will enjoy what is given.
Yes. Well, and that's the whole thing. That's why I had to stop. I'm like, wait, no, maybe not what you want. Like it could be in alignment with it. Your heart could be in it, but then at the same time, some of these visions or passions that we get are fueled by so much more. It's like that divine, it's a cosmic fire. Bah!
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah, like something actually trying to move its way through you. Like you just like physically showed me that.
mm,
That's exactly how it feels. Like
yeah.
otherwise it builds this is why I've struggled to understand the 92% here, because I go, well, how are you handling that? Like I felt like I was going to explode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I wonder, for me, when I was nomadic and as I do my own work, I feel and know that I'm safer and more secure actually doing that. But
Yeah.
the step between what we're told and then what is true is can feel large for some people. And maybe for me, I was really used to change, or life just kind
Yeah.
of demanded it of me earlier or something. But yeah, it's a very big avoidance of discomfort, that one
Huge.
step that, yeah, and I wish I could help more people with that.
Well, well,
Yeah,
and this is the
application.
thing, like, and having things like this, Oracle Fest, like even I've just started a podcast now, but so much of it is talking about that, because it's fear, like fear of the unknown can completely keep people frozen and stuck. And I've been there, like I'm sure you've been there, depending on cases, we're human, but I would rather, like for me personally, so I understand this might not be how others would choose to live. I would rather try something and fall on my face, get bruises potentially, than never try at all. And I just am a dreamer. I believe in miracles. And sometimes it's not easy. A lot of the time, it won't always be easy, but to not know and to have regret, like, no, no, thank you. I don't want to live a life of regrets.
No,
It
and
just, it,
that
it hurts my
92%,
heart.
right?
Yes,
And yeah,
92%.
I'm stuck on it.
When I read that, I I couldn't, like in my heart, I'm like, no, this can't be real. Like I don't want to believe this for us as a species, as a society. Like it has to be different. But at the same time, I see it. I do see it in the work that I do. It's changed, I must admit. It has evolved over the years of the way I work and the people that I work with, but I did see it, especially maybe in the early coaching mentorship days, I was working a lot more with people for self-growth and self-development, and so much self-sabotage. That
Hmm.
was huge. Like we would have breakthroughs and then, it was just like a band-aid at some points. It's like, no, you got to go deeper. Like, what is this? And that it does make sense that it's 92, even though I don't want to believe that. I don't want to accept that.
Hmm.
But look at I just think of so many people in our world. I know that they do have dreams and desires. So there is that. And then us creating space, even having these conversations. Somebody could be listening to this and being like, oh, dang, I'm in that 92%. What could I shift to maybe what could I shift within myself to be open to possibilities? What beliefs are there that are closing off my vision? And I find the more like a huge factor in this, and you even mentioned that, is that spiritual connection, is that knowing that we have that access to spirit, knowing that we are all oracles. We're all oracles, everyone. There's no, one person. No, it's just we have different talents and skills, but we are all oracles of the divine. So when you access that, when you remember that, when you start living that and embodying that, your life changes. But how can it not? How can it not if you're in that flow of spirit, if you're trusting? So you got that cosmic fire saying you could stop or go.
Yeah.
But it's like, do I actually have a choice? Like, because I've been there too. I'm like, I don't have a choice in this. I'm losing my mind, breaking down, but we're going to go forward.
Absolutely. Well, and that's those people, fixing their wheel as they come up
Yes,
Oracle Mountain. They go, well, my wheels fell off. How do you expect me to get up there? And I say, you'll find a way, and then the next three strangers, I'll help you with the next piece
yes,
of the puzzle. And then you go, oh, dang, that Oracle was right.
yeah,
She was right. I was going to find a way. I just wasn't right there at that moment. Right. And that's why this like looking into and this idea of intuition, predictive sort of
yeah,
understanding without it being too rigid is really comforting and why people have sought a lot of the oracles out in times of
yeah.
uncertainty, right? So there's all this unknown, there's all this uncertainty, and then there's all these guides who actually are so ready and so excited and love to be able to help you see how your path can actually unfold more easily than how you're currently in that.
Perceiving it,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Well, and what I love the most, in terms of even the evolution of what I've been doing, I love to share with people how you can do it for yourself. I do readings, I will do that, and I still do that. However, what if you could do your own reading? What if you could open up your Akashic records? What if you became the oracle and didn't seek, external, which sometimes I'm like, this is counterintuitive for someone with an oracle deck saying, you don't need the deck. You don't, but they're nice. They're nice to have. They're tools to have to support us. But they're like nothing lights me up more than to see someone like when it clicks for them where they know that they know. And
Mm-hmm.
then they know that they can trust. It's like, the light, the golden rays. It's just, it's so beautiful when you can see that for someone, or even when you're the oracle and you're sharing information and you might give them a different perspective, right? Because they might think, oh, I'm in the cart, like I got to fix this wheel, I can't get up to the mountain. And then the fellow oracles come and help. It's like, oh, I'm not alone. Oh gosh, I've been doing this all on my own. I thought I was alone. So yeah, it's beautiful to know that we're not alone, that we can call upon support of community, and then even that divine connection. It's just, I feel like that could be part of this 92% of people not following through. Because if there's that fear or that lack of trust, if you think you're jumping off a cliff and no one's going to catch you, you're probably not going to jump off a cliff.
Absolutely. It would be illogical to jump off that.
Yes,
So
like
those
the
guys
magic
like that.
dragon.
Yeah.
could come get you. But if you don't know that, you don't know that. Or like the hand of the divine could catch you and bring you somewhere beyond your wildest dreams, more than what you thought was going to be on the other side. But you won't know until you know. And I say this all the time to people, you don't know until you know.
Hmm.
Like, how will you ever know? Because so often people will go to the 99 ways it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And I will raise my hand. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have been known to do that before. Less now. But then, like on that other spectrum, I can be a little delulu. I like to go very, very big up here. So we do need to be grounded in reality with things, but why not go big? Like even you're like OracleFest. We're going to do this.
It's big and it's trying to find its way through me. And you know what I
Right.
say? I often feel like I often feel like I'm just trying to jump out of the way of like where I'm standing in the way of it. And so
Right.
if it's trying to charge its way through me and I'm standing there with all my like, I don't know about this, then okay, it's gonna gonna keep kind of coming
Yes.
up to this little like barricade. And so, okay, what if I said, well, you never know. Come on through.
Yes.
Right? Well, you never
Yes.
know. Come on in. And then the next, halt is maybe me saying, but what if they don't like it? Well, the idea is coming through me, so it's not about me. Time to get
Yes.
out of the way, right? And it's
Yes.
all how can I pivot and dodge a little bit where I'm standing directly in the force that is already coming through me, whether
Yeah.
I had a say in it or not, or whether I, like it or not. I love Oracle Fest, but there's other
Yes.
things, that Spirit asked me to do that I go, are you sure? I don't know about this one, and
Well,
it's just that. It's just this negotiation almost of like, how agreeable can we be to what's already coming through?
and to build upon that, if you are getting an idea or a vision or being guided towards something, and you have that space where it's like, can we negotiate this? Like, I don't know. Then that is the warning bells of okay, actually, like this is bigger than you. This is like who are you to get in the way of that work? And this could happen with folks. So it's just if you're getting those ideas, like it's bigger than you. And you know what? Sometimes I've even had to remind myself of that. Like even a couple years ago, I feel, I don't know, I feel like I did get in the way of things or like my ego needed a check, which I'm very grateful for. But this, like the work that we're being called towards and we might be the face of it or the creator of it, but it is bigger than us. It's not even about us. It's about the mission. Like what
Yeah.
you just mentioned in the very beginning. Oh, maybe this was us chatting, actually. This probably might not be on the recording, but where you're being guided into more of that greater mission work, that's what it is. Like we're here to perhaps bear the torch for it, light up the way to lead the way, but it's bigger than that because that's another thing too. So much of this work I feel personally is to bring people back home to themselves and to spirit, right? And at the same time though to also bring back those times of community. There's so much separation and divide now. And we could say, oh, it's always been like that, but it has not been like that all the time. And even if we want to go into other dimensional spaces where where it was these utopian societies, that is real. It's not just fantasy, it existed. And so even creating spaces or forums for people to come together and feel that and remember that, because that's what Oracle Fest feels like as well. It's almost a remembrance of the way that it was and returning to that. And then even through the different speakers and the different topics, it's just like unraveling those layers of remembrance to come here to open and then shed any heaviness that's been here or anything that's even been blocking the reception because some folks might feel like they don't quite hear their intuition or their guidance or it just feels a little the channel is a little distorted. So for those folks that are coming to Oracle Fest, it feels like the channels will be clean. The reception's going to be tuned up for them. And then of course there's going to be like people that are always communicating with spirit. So it's like, yes, my people.
Yes. Yeah. The people who race up the mountain going, I know
Yes.
what this is. I heard the call loud and clear. I love that.
Oh,
It's
oh,
interesting.
I
As you were speaking, I just had this image of the person with the wagon deciding they didn't need to bring the wagon and all the stuff that was on it. And I go, that's amazing.
yeah, why do we need that? Like really,
Maybe
does that need to
maybe we
come?
didn't need to carry it this whole way, actually. That's what the fourth oracle says, eh? It's like a joke.
Yeah,
The three oracles walk up a hill and
yeah. Well, and because everyone's bringing provisions, there's
Mhm.
going to be more than enough.
Always.
Well, that's the thing too. There is more than enough. When there's community, there's always more than enough.
Yeah.
Because somebody, like if you travel and you're in a group, somebody is always packing way more than they need, but then you
Mhm.
needed it because somebody didn't pack enough. So
Yes.
just like it works. It always works. Even if in the moment there could be those moments of, is it working? How is it going to work? Like, we don't need to know. We don't need to know. And the mind always wants to know every last step. And so being in that flow of spirit, being open to divine guidance is honoring the mind, knowing that, yes, steps are great, but we don't need to know everyone.
Absolutely. And our mind is doing its best trying to keep us safe, trying to keep
Yes,
us protected and
yes,
growing and healthy and stable. And so, hey, thanks for the commentary.
yes,
I'm gonna follow this other guy for a little bit and
yeah,
I'll come back to you, brain. It's like
yes,
we have all these uses, right? Brain helps me
yes.
with my day to day because I couldn't get through it without my mind,
No,
you
no,
know?
that's the grounded in reality. We do need
Absolutely.
function in the
Absolutely.
world, but they can
Yeah,
work together.
they
They can
do.
work together. And that's the thing about the partnership too. It's like the mind wants to know all the steps, and the spirit is like, but just trust. It's like, well, let's have three steps
Totally. Totally.
and then we'll
Absolutely.
go. Okay, I'm going to pull three cards. So
Beautiful.
this is from Soul Path Oracle, which
Mhm.
I will show you. Oh, I have
Ah,
an Oracle deck. This is so funny. Like, talk about those dreams or visions that are yours, but not and bigger than you. I had wanted the Oracle deck God, for years, but the way that I was creating it in the very beginning was different. Like it was a totally different deck. And when I let go of my attachment to the way, because I wanted it to be like a witchy deck.
mm,
So I let go of my attachment to it needing to be that. And then it just transformed into something, um, not that the other one wouldn't have been beautiful, but it just transformed into something that it was meant to be,
mhm.
allowing it to be. So these cards are going to be for Oracle Fest. We'll say Oracle Fest in general. It's like, let's just tune into that. And it feels like a building. So we're going to pull three cards. Okay. And we're doing a pyramid with that. Oh, it's turning into a triangle. I'm like, what are we doing? Just try. Oh. So these cards have been shuffled, by the way. So just to mention that. But this is beautiful. So I've created a triangle. We have the West. So I'll just go over them and then we'll talk about them, which is the water element on the bottom. And then we have the South, which is the fire element. That's why I'm going, ooh. So these are the anchors of the pyramid. But then on the very top, we have resiliency. So as I'm like, this is a building. And isn't that interesting? It's like the elements of fire and water. So for Oracle Fat, oh, this is beautiful. But they're getting me to come down. So it's like I was pulling the cards of like the building up, but it's even starting to come down. So like the resiliency is it, and this is for Oracle Fest in general. So the people that are coming, just like the creation of it, it gives a sentiment towards the hero's journey or the journey of life where there are challenges and where there are struggles and everything that we've actually been talking about, like where you get down, but you get back up again. Like it's Everything we've talked about, of course. But then at the same time, when we have those challenges or struggles, to still be optimistic, to still look for the light, to find the magic as well, and then to share that. Because a lot of the time when we go through hardships, we learn and we grow from that. And it's like we get these little, I'm seeing an amulet. It's like this little amulet that we get to carry with us. But sometimes we might share it. And now the amulet's turning into a locket. So it's like, here, look at this. But it's to help and inspire others. So even all of these challenges or learning lessons that we're going through not only help to shape who we are, but then it's bridging that sense of community because it's not just for self. And then you start to see the strength within yourself. And then it's the mirrors of strength and on and on and on into the collective. And it feels like if we're working down through the cards, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to go within, to go into the emotions, to go into that realm, to reflect, to uncover what might have been shielded, where we were talking about that protective aspect, to uncover the truth of who you are in that emotional space, in that spiritual space. And I'm hearing, and to go deep. It's like going deep. You'll be submerged deep, but held, right? We don't have to be scared when we're going into the deep, dark depths of the of the emotions or the water, but we're coming out of it with the fire element. And this is growth and passion and trust. So you're literally going on this journey inward to connect out to spirit and then feeling inspired and on fire. And look at that. It's like spreading your wings and going out. So it even feels like there's going to be some distillation of those life experiences that we were talking about that might not have been dealt with. We're just saying the words. See, we don't filter what's coming through. It's like just say the words. There might be some distillation of those experiences that have made you resilient or reminded you of your resiliency that haven't been dealt with or that haven't been fully integrated into the cellular structures of your being to be absorbed, to be transmuted so that this can happen. So not only is OracleFest going to be insightful, where you'll learn and you'll be guided through experiences, it's going to be very healing and transformational and for everyone. Because even like my face is red right now. I'm on fire right now. It's like so it is going to be transformational for everyone. And the people that are anchoring it, those that are on the mountaintop right now, are creating that structure and the foundation for it. But there's more coming. So even folks that are signed up and that are coming, it's like we're seeing like these little flashing lights. It's like if you were to be on the runway waiting for the plane, it's like those are the beacons of light, and there's more coming. So this is going to be highly, one more card, healing and transformational. And solar plexus chakra. Yeah. So like being in your power. Yeah. So healing, transformational, and even like a reclamation of power, holding and owning that. And for those of you that are already feeling confident in that, this is an amplification of it. This is a clearer direction as well for some folks of purpose and that mission work.
Yeah.
Girl, Oracle Fest.
Hey, you too. You're in it. You're up
Yeah.
here.
Oh, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be part of it. Like
It
it
feels
wasn't
so
anything,
good.
yes. I didn't even have to think about it. I was like,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
sign me up. I'm in.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's how I felt because I went, wow, I
Yeah.
wish this existed for myself to be at as well. I go, I guess I'll just do that. But what
Yes.
was fascinating is also that card with the fire really speaks to me because there is in Oracle Fest all these other pieces of it as well. So there's a fire of the Phoenix that
Ah,
people go and it's like this transformational chat that people can go have. And so I go, well, I said, maybe we need a water element. This is my brain now going into, we got to go talk with the whales. We have a tree of wisdom where you can get messages, and something coming through for me as you were speaking is
Yeah,
beautiful. Thank you. The cards are beautiful. The
yeah,
reading itself also really, I think, is very inspiring for those looking to come, and also
yeah,
me on the back end as well.
yeah.
And one of the things that coming through was this idea that actually, like, by distilling, like you say, making sense of our other experiences and seeing things differently, we also then come out seeing ourselves differently and taking a
Mhm.
different charge in our life. So those fears that were held in the solar plexus, right, can also start to like have that resolve through the emotional like fire water transformation that's
Mhm.
possible to occur. And so it's go within with that. Was it a lotus that was the
Yes.
right? I love the lotus symbol. I used to wear
Yeah.
a ring of a lotus for many, many years to remind me of my spiritual journey and how
Yes.
sometimes it's like the mud, and just to say, hey, you have some kind of knowing that it's all going to pan out okay. So just stick to that. And so it's that going within, recognizing, yeah, the flower and the muck, and then the water to fire to then this lion. I mean, powerful.
Power.
Absolutely. I want everyone just to understand their own internal power as connected to a higher or outer power as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, that because this feels like it's like the soul search, but that's the whole thing. You can have the reflection and you can go into the cave, so to speak, but you can't stay in the cave even though it's nice. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, okay, the cave is lovely, but you have to come out. Like that's part of it.
Absolutely.
It's coming out of the cave.
Oh,
And
yeah.
even to sometimes it's not to share. I was going to say to share those experiences and those reflections, but sometimes the sharing is you being transformed from that.
Yes.
And then people in you, like energetically, your field changes, who you are changes, and you don't even like actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
Embodiment. So that in itself is a sharing. And then you might share as well. Yeah. Yeah, I feel this is going to be huge. Like people are going to feel very, very inspired. And even some of the guests, I feel I just
Mhm,
this is like for everyone,
mhm.
like the facilitators and the guests, like it's just a very open, expansive space, but it feels like we'll be going inward and some for some folks maybe in the muck a little bit, and that's okay. The muck
Absolutely.
we do need that. Like even we're entering we'll kind of timestamp this. We're in like the solstice period.
Mhm.
So that is where we're going well in northern hemisphere where I am, where we're going and where you are, where we're going
Where I
into
am at the moment.
the darker spaces. So it's like
Yes.
darkest day, the longest night. But
Mhm.
why does the darkness have to be a bad thing? Why does the muck have to be bad? Because, like the lotus, always striving or seeking the light, when you come out of that, everything that you thought was horrible or painful in time, and perhaps with the water element and the reflection, you do see a higher blessing in it, but that's a whole other conversation. So we'll
Yeah.
stop.
Good thing this is going to be the first recorded of many of our conversations,
Yes.
I'm sure, over the years. I say this
Yeah.
to many of the speakers as well. I go, "Oh my gosh, I just want to sit with you for hours." But
No.
we have to attend to our human bodies. We have to
Yeah.
live. We got to keep people excited to come to Oracle Fest. Can't
Yeah.
give them all the wisdom now. No.
Yeah. We got, and just like to honor, yeah, honor this beautiful creation that is coming through. It's like an awakening. It's an awakening. It's a homecoming. It's soul reunions. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's a call up, a call back, it's all of
Mhm.
these. Yeah, and definitely a remembrance, like you say. I tend to use those words quite a
Yeah.
lot, that this work in general of inviting people to remember themselves and what they hold within as their own inner oracle is this, yeah, ancestral primal remembrance. So it's certainly well connected to that ancient way, and I hope it forever will be as well connected to ancient ways, to nature, to ancestors, and so on and so on. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful blessing to have you with us. And I think this is a natural sort of And I said that
Yeah.
there would be one, and we found it. And here it is, our natural conclusion. Oh, so
But
I
of
really,
course.
of course, it could only be this way. It has to be easier and easier, we hope. So I'm really, really so looking forward to having your presence there
Mm.
throughout Oracle Fest and on and on and on, as I feel this
Yeah.
is more of a mission building momentum and vision that is coming further and further to fruition with every person who joins into the force of it. So very grateful to have you with us and
Thank you
to
for
hear more
having
from
me.
you. My pleasure. My pleasure.
See y'all in Oracle
See
Fest.
ya.